I was like, what? He's like, no, seriously, if you died today, would you go to heaven? I'm like, man, I think so. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he like, nah, bro, that's not good enough, man. You can't be unsure about that. You should know. So what I want you to do is I want you to spend time figuring out, if you were to die right now and die today, would you go to heaven? And that question alone, it sparked something. It was a seed planted. And I was like, man, I know that God exists, but I don't know anything about him.
I mean, you is who you are. You carry enough weight to do, half that shit on your own, to be real. For real, to be honest, man, on some real shit. Let's just be real.
Yeah, man, honestly, bro, it's really just the atmosphere and the environment that God put me in, bro.
Facts.
So he just blessed me in a way that one, my personality just it does the job, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So it's like before I even start singing or people recognize I do music or anything, everybody always, flocks to me, or I tend to be considered everybody's like, big brother, little brother, or whatever the case may be. Like, I become a part of so many different families just by being myself. Mm-hmm. And so I think that that's something that really helps me a lot when it comes to networking. Mm-hmm. Is I like to go into situations and I like to just be me. You know what I'm saying? I never try to put on a front for anybody. I never try to act like anybody that I'm not, man. I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how God made me. So, the credit goes to him for real, for real. And so through that, he blessed me with the personality. He blessed me with the musical talent to be able to actually, hold a note, to sing and rap and do all that stuff, to be creative. But then he blessed me to also be a performer. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So to be able to entertain, because a lot of people forget that is a huge part of music. It's like you can go into the studio and have the craziest record, right? But if you can't perform that record, you ain't gonna make no money.
The live music is key, man.
You ain't gonna make no money.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of my connections have been coming through one of those,
right.
One of those three, or just, just my relationship with God, man. God has been blessing me with people just because I have a relationship with him and I love him. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I love to talk about God. Like, I'll openly talk about God and won't care. Like, good. If I talk about God and I lose 10,000 fans, I don't care. Y'all were not supposed to be here anyways. Yep. Because what's going to happen is, because of the fact that I'm talking about God, y'all 10,000 that just left, he going to replace y'all with 20,000. So I'm not worried about, stuff like that. So just off of those 4 categories, that's where I feel like a lot of my networking has happened. And that's where I got to the point where it's like, I feel like you can piece together a little college tour for yourself for real. Yeah. So who knows? Album just dropped. You know what I'm saying? So we might have something like that in the works. So.
Sure. Hold on one second, Jay Wells. He was going in, y'all. Let me do an introduction real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Lavish Journey podcast. It's your host, Jay Gaines, in here today. Pretty sure y'all heard him drop knowledge already. I got my brother Jay Wells over here, man.
Yeah. What's going on?
Man, how you feeling today, bro?
Honestly, bro, I'm blessed.
For real, man. Everything been going great for you, man. I love it. You just came out with the new album, man.
Yes, sir. Legacy, the Untold Love Story. It's out on all platforms, literally everywhere. You can Google it. That's so amazing to me, bro. If you go and you type in Legacy, the Untold Love Story, like, it pops up. Like,
your name pop up on everything. Actually, it's like your whole page is you.
Yeah, it's so dope to me. Yeah. Like, that's crazy. Like, Google then gave me a artist panel. You know what I'm saying? If you start typing in Jay Wells, it'll give you Jay Wells, the hockey player, Jay Wells, the musician, which is me, and then you have Jay Wells, the producer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so if you click on Jay Wells, musician, like, it'll bring up an artist panel with me. You'll see my profile. You'll see all my social media accounts. You'll see everywhere that sells my music. You know what I'm saying? You get to see posts that I make on Google and stories about me on Google, and you get to see my event, like the Legacy album release party. That party was
we got to talk about that, bro. Hold on, man. How do you get that shit planned? I saw all the videos and pictures. I'm up here watching it like, what? Damn, this shit going. Look like you was. I don't know, man. Look like it was like some big time shit, like big time.
Honestly, bro,
that was dope.
Good looks, man. I appreciate it. Look, when I tell you, bro, God does everything for me. Seriously, he does everything for me. So I remember, funny thing, Legacy is an album that took 2 years to make.
Okay, I can tell.
You know what I'm saying? Classic. And so it took two, like those songs that y'all hear on there. I have so many, songs that I made in between those. Like a lot of people think like I just sat in the studio and I made every single song back to back, and that's how I streamlined this story together. No, it didn't happen like that. Each song was made over the course of 2 years. So some songs was written all the way back in 2016. Some songs was written at the end of 2015, coming into 2016. Then I have some songs that I wrote, 2018. I have a song that I wrote this year. So it's just over the last 2.5 years that album has been in my mind. Excuse me. I remember it came about because my social media began to be focused on legacy and what does it mean to leave your legacy. And I had this idea. I'm like, man, I want to do this album called Legacy, bro. Like I'm gonna do a legacy album, and it didn't have any title behind it. It was just Legacy.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna drop a legacy album. And every time I wanted to drop it, something always came up, whether it was financial reasons or whatever the case may be. I didn't have all the songs done, whatever it was. And so I kept pushing the album off. I ended up dropping an EP called Through the Storm in 2017. Okay. And that was when Legacy was supposed to drop once again.
Right.
And so I ended up dropping an EP before the album actually dropped. And a lot of people was like, man, so what's up with Legacy, man?
Right.
Because I had already leaked, information about it. So everybody like, man, what's up with Legacy, man? Where Legacy at? And I went through it like a year, bro, where I would perform, but people just didn't know what was going on in terms of release. And when I did release music, I had released 2 tracks off of Legacy. I actually, believe it or not, I released 3 tracks off of Legacy, but I took one of them down.
Okay.
I released You Got It, which was my most recent release before the album dropped. I released Treasure, and I released Shut It Down. Treasure and Shut It Down I actually released on the same day.
Okay.
But the issue was neither of those songs really got the response that I thought they were going to get. And that's it. For me, it seemed like a lot of the people that were supporting me, my fan base, had left because I had went so long without dropping music.
Yeah.
And that was a hard thing for me, honestly. And so I kind of tabled it. I tabled Legacy, man. I tabled it. I just said, man, forget it, man. I'm just chilling. But then coming into this year, bro, it was just super dope because coming into this year, I started sampling more music online. And once I started sampling the music, my page just started, booming more, and people was listening to the music. Oh, dang, this hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, these are songs that I dropped already, but I actually started to market them a different way and promote them a different way.
So,
and so,
which way was your marketing?
So, the funny thing is, when I first dropped them, I didn't market them at all. Like because I already had that support system, coming from BG. I already had songs that had hit 88,000 plays and all this other stuff on SoundCloud. So for me, I fell into that trap of thinking that I made it when I didn't. And so I was like, man, I'm gonna pull a Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really gonna say too much about the album. I'm just gonna drop it and everybody gonna go get it. And I was so far from the right answer. Like I was so off with that. So I dropped the 2 tracks and I like sampled them. I'm like, yeah, in 3 days I'm dropping 2 songs from my new Legacy album. And the post got a little bit of love, but then in 3 days I dropped the 2 songs. I was like, the songs is out now on SoundCloud, go get it. Nobody got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I was like, dude, what? Like, this is crazy.
Yep.
So I went through the time of just sampling songs, and it got to the point where I remember I was sitting down, man. This was probably like last month. No lie, last month. I'm sitting down, and I remember just sitting and thinking to myself, and I feel like God was just saying to me, like, what are you waiting on? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I kept thinking about the parable of the men with the talents, how one of them hid his talent and lost it. And I'm like, man, what am I waiting on? And I remember I called my girl up and I was like, babe, July 15th or July 19th. She like, well, it depends on what you're talking about. I was like, I'm dropping a Legacy album. And she immediately was like, oh, snap. July 19th is the weekend. Because she heard all the music, before I even got it ready. And so I was like, bet, July 19th. And then I called my manager, Swick, up. And I was like, hey, July 19th, we back. July 19th, we're going to drop the Legacy album. And we're going to get it popping. And so at that point, I already had in my mind, like God literally downloaded the blueprint. He was like, look, July 19th, all I needed you to do was make a date. That's literally what it felt like God was saying to me. All I needed you to do was set a date and set your mind on a goal. Because the moment I told my girl, my manager, July 19th, he was like, bet, July 18th, you're going to have an album release party. You're going to have your album release party at Chicago's Chicken and Waffles. And you're going to have a free party, and you're going to set an RSVP for it. And so, mind you, I'm like, well, I ain't never did none of this before. So I don't know how this about to go. I'm nervous. And then, mind you, the album still wasn't done. Like, I still had so much music to finish to put onto the album. So I had about 3 weeks to really, you know, get down, grind, and get the music done, get everything in order. I think I called Shaw from SI Currency. I called him maybe the next day and was like, Shaw, look, July 18th. I need Chicago's Chicken and Waffles. What's up? What's the price? What we talking? This how God works. So he was like, Shaw hit me back and was like, yeah, bro, what you trying to do? Are you trying to do an album release party? I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna get you right for the album release party, man. We're gonna put you in the VIP and everything like that, man. We got the Northeast Ohio Young Black Democrats. They gonna be there for that day, but we gonna just share that day, man. All of us gonna merge together and share that day, and then I'm gonna have you hit the mic, perform once or twice or something like that, and we talked. Everything came together like this. So I'm like, all right, bet. So he had his graphic designer create the flyer, and then after that, I end up going through and I'm finishing the music and everything like that. I end up making a whole banner and you know what I'm saying, and putting together a flyer. My manager got my my artwork done, and so everything was just going. It was just flowing. And so I'm like, dude, what's next? And God was like, RSVP. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I created this RSVP on Eventbrite, and when I did it, Google immediately picked it up. Like Google, Yahoo immediately picked it up. So what happened was, because I'm a verified artist on Google, if you type in Legacy to Untold Love Story, it'll pop up on Yahoo News. It'll pop up on Google, like all over, on like things to do in Cleveland. And so a lot of people would see that and they would say, oh, I don't know who this Jay Wells dude is, but it's something to do in Cleveland. Forget it. And it's a free event. I'm going. So I just said, I told my girl, I was like, babe, I'll be happy if just 50 people show up. This is why it's important, y'all. If y'all don't listen, hear me on this. Get you a significant other that is going to believe so heavily in your dreams and invest so much in your dreams that when you sell yourself short, they're going to take you and they're going to help to push you higher. Because I told my girl, I said, babe, I'll be happy if 50 people showed up. She said, 50? You're going to have at least 75, but I believe it's going to be around 100. But you're going to have at least 75. Bro, I set, I think I set 150 tickets for the RSVP. I said 150. I said, look, this is going to be the goal.
You did triple the amount you thought.
Yeah, so look, I set it up. So I set it up on the Eventbrite. I'm like, look, I'm going to put the max tickets that I have is 150. That's the max tickets. I don't know what's going on. And so she was like, all right, cool. And so I'm checking. It hit 30 people. I'm checking. It hit 50 people. I'm like, babe, it hit 50 people. She like, okay, just wait. I'm checking. Babe, it hit 75. Oh my gosh, what happened? I'm checking. Babe, we're at 92. I'm checking. Babe, we had 112. The day of the event, we had 112 people.
Damn.
And then when we get to the event, you know what I'm saying? There was a Chick the Flyers. That's my boy. He had his album release party literally right before mine. So I went over to his album release party and I'm showing love. I'm there kicking it. Me and my camera guys, man. It's me, Nuke, Chick the Flyers. We got Preem in there. So we all down there kicking it. Dre Walton in the building. We kicking it. They performing. They doing a great job. Pretty much everybody that was there came right over to Chicago's once we was done. MGK's producer and DJ was there. DJ Ace was there. DJ A1 was there. DJ Mrs. DJ my whole set. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who else came through, man? DJ Ryan Wolf, man, he came through too. So it was so many people there, bro. It was about 200 plus people there. The owner of Chicago's came to me and was like, bro, it's over 200 people in here.
Damn, man, that's a blessing, bro.
Like, literally, it was all God, bro. Like, I don't know how it just came together. in 3 weeks.
Right.
And I was scared. I didn't know how I was gonna look. I was scared. I was like, man, I ain't never did nothing like this. It's my first time ever doing an album release party. My album, funny thing is, I just submitted it 2 days before the album was supposed to drop because I was waiting on a mix.
Yeah.
So because the mix didn't come in time, I ended up recording, mixing, and mastering every single song on the album myself. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Salute to this man right here, man. Shit.
Yeah. So I recorded,
mixed,
and mastered every single album, every single track on the album, all myself, and I submitted it 2 days before it was supposed to be released.
Wow.
And I was so nervous, like, man, I don't know if it's gonna drop when it's supposed to. And something was telling me just email them. So I sent them an email like, yo, I set my date for July 19th and I just submitted it. I just want to make sure it's gonna go through.
Yep.
When we were the day of the release, I still didn't know if it was gonna actually release or not on midnight.
Right.
The day of the release party, while I'm at Chick the Flyest event, I get an email to my phone, and I'm with my manager, and the email, I read the email, and the email tells me that my album has officially been submitted and added to all the stores. And so me and him started like going crazy and just shouting and praising God right there. And we get to the venue, and my brother, he's sitting there and he's looking and checking and looking to see if it was gonna hit.
Right.
And they actually had me get on the microphone at midnight. And so Shaw had introduced me, was like, listen, at midnight, Legacy the Untold Love Story will release everywhere. And my brother was like, it's already out right now.
Hey.
So it dropped at midnight. And after that night, the very same night that I dropped the album, there were 4 stars within the album. You know, Apple Music, they give you stars for the favorite tracks.
Yeah.
The very same night I dropped the album, I had 4 stars on it.
Damn. That's a blessing, bro. And that's crazy how, man, everything came about too, man.
Yeah. It was crazy.
'Cause I was about to ask you before the podcast, like, do you feel like this is like your breakout album? Like this one you just dropped, bro?
I do. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely feel like this is it because they always say it takes 7 to 10 years before you really, you look like you became an overnight success. And kind of that's what it's starting to look like for some people here in Cleveland who didn't know me before. It's funny, like I've been doing music for a long time, bro. Like I started doing music back in 2003, but I started doing it seriously in 2012 as a freshman in BG.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And here we are.
Yep.
7 years later.
7 years later, man.
You know what I'm saying? And you can hear the growth in the music. You can hear, the story being told, you know what I'm saying, through that album. Like, so far, everybody that's heard the album from top to bottom, they're like, bro, this album is a classic from top to bottom. I love it, man. Every single track is a banger. Of course, everybody got their favorites, but every single track is a banger. And for me, it's just like, man, it's a testament to just hard work, to prayer, to dedication, bro. It's a lot of nights where I wanted to throw in the towel, a lot of nights where I cried, a lot of nights where I was just over this music stuff, man. It was a lot of nights where I wanted to give up. I can't even lie. The day before the release party, I actually texted my girl and I told her, I said, you know what? I'm done with this. And she was like, what? I'm like, man, I don't want to do this no more, man. She like, so you quitting? And for me, that just hit me in a different, when she asked me straight up, so you quitting?
Yep.
It hit me differently because for her, so this for any woman, I ain't gonna lie, man, listen to me. One of the sexiest things to a woman, like I'm not gonna lie, the sexiest thing to a woman is a man with drive, with vision, with determination, with dedication. You know what I'm saying? So women hate men that quit. They hate men that quit. You know what I'm saying? And even when it comes to arguments, like, you know what I'm saying? If you ever look back at relationships, a lot of the times men give up and quit on the relationship when things get hard. Women love a man who doesn't quit. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, when she asked me, so you quitting? Bro, I ain't never felt so unattractive, bro. Like
like damn. Like,
I was like,
shit, that shit must have hit.
Oh dang, like. No, I'm not quit. Like just that alone, you know what I'm saying? And then it sparked a conversation where she could, speak life into me to really keep me going. But yeah, I feel like this is the breakout album, man. I feel like it's getting a lot of traction, a lot of attention. Every single track on here, man, it means something to me. I think every track on here was just well put together, man. It's just, I don't know. I think this is the one.
I like it, bro, man. When I first heard it, I actually listened to it 2-3 times on the freeways. I do Uber and shit.
That's high.
And because I play, you know, definitely before I get people in the podcast, I listen to their shit. I actually played it. I was like, hold on, listen to this again. I played it a third time. Like, it sounds smooth as fuck, bro. Like,
I appreciate that.
What
man.
artists out here inspired you, though? Like, that's what I want to know for real.
To be honest, a lot of my influences came from, like, you know, Michael Jackson. You got Usher. You got Chris Brown. You got Bruno Mars. So you can even hear a tiny bit of like a Bryson Tiller trap soul in there a little bit. So it's funny because each song you can kind of get the resemblance of the artist or the reference to the artist. Like rhythm, you know, you can hear Usher and a little bit of Neo in there. Shut It Down, big time Bruno Mars, and you know, like a Michael Jackson, real funk kind of
that's
know,
what
pop
I got.
vibe. You Got It is more just like a upbeat, so it kind of falls in line with where hip hop and R&B is right now in today's society. You got Come Through, and Treasure is kind of like a trap soul kind of vibe, so that's more so leaning towards like the Bryson Tiller kind of lane. Don't Give Up, big Chris Brown pop kind of vibes. But the beautiful thing about it is, like, when you hear those songs, the influences are so low key and so minimal that it still sounds like me. I still have my own sound, so nobody can listen to any of my songs and be like, oh, he sounds like this, sound like that song, or this sound like that song, and this, that, and the third.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all me. So
that's dope, man. Cause I fuck with it heavy, man. I can tell you put in time. You can tell when you listen to somebody's music and they actually, you know what I mean, put in time and hard work into it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And you said you've been working this since 2014 or 15?
About 2015. So the
15.
end of 2015. I started. It started as just like an idea. It's just like, you know, oh, I want to do a legacy album,
right?
And then it turned into this,
man.
And the funny thing is, this is only part one, because the legacy album is actually a 2-part album. Shit. And the funniest thing is, I decided I was going to do legacy as a 2-part album, and then a couple months later, Drake ended up dropping that A and B track of his album, Scorpion. Oh, yeah. And I was like, wow, man, when I drop my album, it's going to look like I'm copying. But at the same time, I was like, I really don't care, because at the end of the day, I know that, you know, I know what my idea originally was. But in 2017, my cousin was murdered, and he was only 22. And so my family, we all close. Like, we like this, you know what I'm saying? So we all super close knit. And so with him being 22, I said I want to dedicate my album to him, my legacy album to him. So the legacy album is going to have 22 tracks total. The first part gave y'all 10 tracks, and it talks about the untold love story. So what that talks about is the false perspective or skewed perspective I once had of love, and you see me meeting somebody and going through the relationship with somebody, and you see how my perspective was if it wasn't fun, and we started arguing, that means that I wasn't having fun. If I wasn't having fun, that means that I wasn't happy. If I'm not happy, then that means this relationship is not the one for me. But I started to realize, you know, later on through the album, that happiness is an emotion, and emotions are fleeting. So you're going to have moments in relationships, real relationships, where you are not happy, but you should still have your joy because you're with that person and you love that person. You know what I'm saying? So even in your moments when you're not as happy with that person, you love that person and you're still joyful to be with them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going to keep you going. Even when y'all have y'all rough patches, every real relationship has those. If you don't have a rough patch, it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And the best thing to do is understand that emotions are fleeting. You know what I'm saying? Just like anger. Anger is gonna pass. It's fleeting. The only time it doesn't fleet is if you choose to hold on to it. And the funniest thing about emotions is it's easier for us to hold on to negative emotions than it is to hold on to positive ones. You know what I'm saying? Because our body, when we have those negative emotions, our body gets that adrenaline rush, and adrenaline is almost like a drug. You know what I'm saying? It really is a drug. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get that adrenaline rush going on because you're angry and stuff like that, you try to hold on to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You try to hold grudges, hold things over people's heads. So that's what the Untold Love Story is about. It's talking about the transition from a boy to a man in terms of how I love. And then the next part is called Awakening.
Oh, so that has to be a part 2? Ooh. No, man. We don't get on, unless you want to tell people. So what do you think that's going to be about a little bit?
So Awakening is actually, so you hear part 1 tells you of me going from a boy to a man in terms of how I love.
Right.
Awakening is talking about me becoming a man in terms of how I respond. So you get pretty much everything in this Awakening album. You're going to talk about my spiritual journey and how God saved me from myself. You know what I'm saying? That the transition of mindset and change of perspective, it came from God. I have a song called Beautiful Imperfections, where it looks directly to women, because there are women out there who, you know, of course women are now starting to really, you know, love themselves more. But there are still women out there that struggle to really love themselves. And Beautiful Imperfections, the chorus literally says, you should know that you're a beautiful reflection of all the truth you hold in your heart, girl, don't reject it. And I wouldn't change a thing about you, girl. Just love yourself and you'll light up the world with your beautiful imperfections. And it's just saying that whatever imperfection that you have, it's a part of you and it makes you who you are. It makes you beautiful just the way you are. So just allowing women to just really just embrace yourself. I have a song on there. I called it Untitled. And I just think that's really cool for me. But it's talking about the reason it's called Untitled is because a lot of the times we really just don't know what to say. It talks about wanting to, you know, love somebody. So essentially being in a situationship where one party loves the other one. And then the other party is like, man, you're everything that I would want in a person. But I can't commit to you right now. And you trying to figure out, well, why can't you commit? And it's just telling that person, listen, I don't want you to love me. I can't stop you, but I don't want you to love me because I know I'm not ready for it yet. I don't know if it's the change from being single to being committed that's scaring me or making me nervous. I don't know what it is, but I just know deep down I'm not ready for it. And I don't want to destroy you in the process. I don't know what to say to you.
Deep, yeah.
So Awakening talks about a lot of deep stuff.
Right.
So that's why it's called Awakening, man.
Damn.
Get everybody together. So yeah.
Shit. When you just explained that, that's how it's gonna be cold, man. Listen, this one hard. I can't even say nothing, man. It's like both these projects about to be lit.
As I told you, Untitled, bro.
I don't know what to say about that.
Untitled, bro.
That's dope. So when do you personally go through the awakening phase, man? You know, what's such as, you know, spirituality, or, you know, however you want to describe it?
I mean, it's an everyday thing. Yeah. It's an everyday thing. I think for me, it first started in 2014. Okay. So 2013 going into 2014, I remember it was really 2013 because I remember my god brother Keith, he had asked me, he called me one day and he asked me, he was like, man, if you was to die today, would you go to heaven? And this was after my grandma passed. And that was like my best friend for real. And he was like, yo, bro, if you died today, would you go to heaven? I was like, what? He's like, no, seriously, if you died today, would you go to heaven? I'm like, man, I think so. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he like, nah, bro, that's not good enough, man. You can't be unsure about that. You should know. So what I want you to do is I want you to spend time figuring out, if you were to die right now and die today, would you go to heaven? And that question alone, it sparked something. It was a seed planted. And I was like, man, I know that God exists, but I don't know anything about him. How can I go to heaven and I don't know anything about the person I'm going to be there serving? You know what I'm saying? And so it took me on a journey. And so coming into 2014, I started discipleship training with my mentor, Nick. And he started taking me through the Bible. I never actually read the Bible before 2014. And so 2014 was my first time really starting to read the Bible. And my mentor would always tell me like, Jay, man, God blessed you with so much wisdom and this, that, and the third, because we would read something in the Bible and the understanding and interpretation that I would get would be like, it would be crazy. And I'm like, man, I don't know how God is doing this, but he's God. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just how God kind of got me started. And then I got into a phase after I got out of really bad like heartbreak, the summer of 2014. And I found myself really trying to press into God, read the Bible more. And what ended up happening was I was actually doing really good over the summer, but I recognized that it was just a phase. It wasn't like I was really in it to do it, but I was in it because I was just searching for something to make me feel better.
The void in the way.
I was just searching for something. I started drinking that summer. I started smoking that summer. You know what I'm saying? And I came back into school that next school year. Man, I started having sex all the time and just doing all kinds of wild stuff that I just really wasn't, doing, you know what I'm saying? So I fell into a phase where I was just doing all of that craziness, right? And then, skip forward all the way to 2018. I remember 2018, February, I came into 2018 like, God, man, I want something different. You know what I'm saying? 2017 was such a bad year for me. My friend, after I, walked the stage, right? Funny, I walked the stage, but I actually didn't graduate. So I still had classes to take in the summer.
I did the same shit at UT.
it was so funny, bro. So fried because I walked the stage, but I still had classes to take in the summer. But for me, I'm like, well, I'm about to just body these little classes, then I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? So right after I walked the stage, one of my homies got murdered back here in Cleveland. And I remember my friend Deja ended up calling me crying, like waking me up crying, like, you know what I'm saying? He got killed. And I'm like, man, what? So that was already a rough thing. So I had to go back home to that funeral. Then I go back to BG. I'm in my summer classes. I'm trying to stay focused. I'm, coming out strong. Then I have to come back for a wedding. My cousin got married July 1st. And when I came back, I was like, yo, where is Q at, man? Because this was the first time all my cousins had been together for, my brother and my cousins. We had all been together for, in a while. So I'm looking, I'm like, man, only thing that's missing is my brother Carl and, our cousin Q. Where Q at? Everybody like, yeah, man, Q done moved and, he this way and that way. So he good, though. I'm like, all right, cool. Go back to school. Son was telling me to reach out to him, too, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Go back to school. And it gets later in July. And I remember I was taking a test online. My brother called me. And I answer, I'm like, no, my brother called me and I didn't answer. I ignored it at first. Then he called me again. I'm like, I'm taking the test. And I hung up on it. Then he called me a third time. I'm like, man, yo, this got to be serious. Like, what's up? Yeah, so I'm like, yo, what's up? He like, man, answer the phone, man. I got something to tell you. And I can hear his voice shaky and everything. I'm like, man, what's going on? He like, man, Q ain't make it. I'm like, man, what you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what's going on? And he like, man, Q, man, he ain't make it. And he broke down on the phone. And to hear my little brother crying on the phone like that, man, I knew it was serious. And they had told me that my cousin, he got shot, he got murdered that night. And I was floored. So I fell into a depression. I had to drop out of all my classes because I couldn't finish. BG ended up still charging me $1,000 because I was enrolled in the classes. And even to this day, I don't have my degree because I still owe them $1,000. So I don't even have my degree yet. So that's just stupidity. But after that, I'm fighting through depression. I'm working at Apple, and in September, my car was in like a hit and run accident. Damn. Lost my car. So I lost my friend. I lost my cousin. I lost my car. The person I was dating at the time, she was letting me use her car. Her car went out on us in November. Lost her car. And I was like, man, something got to change. Right. And I remember at the end of the year, I told God coming to 2018, like, God, I need something different. Like, I just want to give my life to you, man. I need something different. And he told me straight up, and I will never forget this. He told me, if you want something different in your life, come into the life not in sin. I said, well, what did that mean? He said, don't come into the new year drunk, and don't come in having sex. I said, all right, cool. I didn't do either. And 2018, God began to open doors for me, man. He began to change around my friend group. He began to speak to me more. He began to reveal to me my calling and my purpose and different gifts that he placed inside of me. My music got better and just began to elevate. And, man, it's just everything took off from there. So I think that's really been my journey. And it hasn't been a perfect journey. I still stumble. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably one of the most imperfect people. I still stumble. But like I said, every single day is an awakening. Every day. Wow. Every day.
Hey, fam, I'm proud of you, man. On some real shit. No, for real, to go through that much, man, and still prevail through all that, because I personally can't sit here and say I can relate. You be honest, man. But it just the simple fact that you went through all that, man, you still prevailed and did what you want to do. I salute to you, man. Salute for on some real though.
Appreciate it, man.
That's deep.
Yeah, that I try to tell people, man. Like,
yeah, no, that's real.
Yeah, man. My life has been far from perfect, man. It's been far from perfect. It's so many details that I left out, but if anybody want to hear that, y'all can always hit me up to hear more about the story. But it's a lot of things that I've been through, man, and that's why I think that this music stuff, it means so much to me, because for me, this is the thing that I know brings all of my family together.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm saying? It was so hard for me not to cry during my album release party, because I had my mom there, my dad there, my brother there, his girl there. My girl was in my corner the entire time. I had my aunties there, my cousins were there, like, from both sides of the family. I'm talking about cousins that I ain't seen in some time. Like, it's been some, man, time, like real life time since I seen. And they showed up, they showed up and they came to support in that moment that meant so much to me, man. Like, when I first took the microphone, this moment I wish I could just relive in that, like, just that was just, it meant so much. Shaw introduced me and he was like, man, if you hear the CJ Wells make some noise, and the whole building just went crazy. And he was like, no, I need y'all to go crazier than that. If you hear the CJ Wells make some noise. And bro, when I tell you, I couldn't, you almost couldn't hear how much noise it was in there. And I was floored. Like, I was just blown back. I was just like, whoa, this is for me. And till this day, bro, I look at these pictures that everybody sent me, and I look at the pictures that they took, and the pictures my videographer, photographer got. Spitter, that's my photographer. Todd, that's my videographer. So I look at the pictures and the videos they sent me, and I'm just blown away. And I'm just like, bro, people in Cleveland, I haven't been here doing music for a super long time. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I still look like that new kid on the block. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But to look at this venue and see that there was over 200 people in this venue, kicking it, having a good time, enjoying the performance that I did, to see how I release an album and the same night I release it, it gets 4 favorites. You know what I'm saying? To see how everything kind of just panned out. Like, you know what I'm saying? The way everything panned out for me, it was just like, what? This is crazy. I was on Z1079 twice already and won the dope artist of the week. You know what I'm saying? And, to see that God has blessed me in so many ways from 2018 all the way to now, man. Like, I done opened up for 21 Savage, opened up for Sammy, and got to actually meet Sammy, sing for Sammy, and have Sammy look to a fan as a fan was telling him, oh my gosh, did you hear him sing? He could sing extremely good. Like, he dope, right? Mind you, when I opened up for Sammy, I was singing backup for one of my homies, B. Jones. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy, so shout out to B. I was singing backup for him, and the girl was like, oh my gosh, like, he can sing, like, he's super dope. And Sammy looked at her and was like, oh yeah, this is my bro, Jay. He's a super dope singer. Like, it was amazing, because the whole night, I'm like, man, I hope I get to meet Sammy, man. I introduced myself to Sammy. It was funny because when the opportunity came, I didn't even recognize that Sammy was standing in front of me because the room was so dark. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I literally couldn't see him at all. But he turned over to me, stuck his hand out, was like, hey, what's up? I'm Sammy. I'm like, what? Like, I was so blown away because I'm like, what? This is the moment I've been trying to wait for. Like, you introducing yourself to me was crazy. And I got to sing for him and everything, and it was super dope. I ended up meeting his designer, Keisha. You know what I'm saying? And that's my sis, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love Keisha to this day, man. She actually took us out to New York with her in February for New York Fashion Week. Yeah. That's my first time ever doing something like that. Ever. You know what I'm saying? My first time ever being in New York, it was because of her. Like, you know what I'm saying? So God blessed me with that connection. She actually came down and designed some pants for me in December. I did a concert opening up for Sherry Dennis, which was a former Bad Boy artist. And shout out to Sherry Dennis. That's the sis too. That's the homie. You know what I'm saying? And made some dope connections. That was for BET. Made some dope connections with people from BET that I still communicate with to this day. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so God pieced all of this stuff together.
Yeah.
And here I am. I'm like, bro, I'm still the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
So with this album, I think it's only up from here.
Oh, yeah. I 100% agree with you, bro.
It is.
Definitely after actually you sitting down hearing your story now the way everything is pieced out, like, this the breakthrough album, man. This is, bro.
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be. You claim it at this point. It is, man. Because after me just scrolling on Instagram, I saw these pictures. I was like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know this guy like that, but it looked like he made it to wherever he's doing. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn. And now he said you're working for such a long time and everything that happened, and it inspires me for real, fam. So, man, you got anything coming up, like, you know, next month or anything, or shows or pop-ups?
Yes. So August 2nd, I'm in Toledo performing at the Harvest. Thanks to Shelby Poetess. She put that on. So shout out to Shelby for that. Then August 3rd. August 3rd is about to be huge.
What's going on August 3rd?
August 3rd is about to be huge. Little Giants, Z1079, Brawl for a Cause. We got Phil Wheaton making his debut in the boxing ring. We got Miguel coming through. We got Montana 2 Pretty Love who gonna be boxing.
What is this called?
You know what I'm saying? This is called Brawl for a Cause. And so it's put on because we're standing up to fight against mental health. You know what I'm saying? So we want to raise awareness for mental health. And man, when I tell you, August 3rd is about to go down.
And where is this gonna be at?
It's gonna be at Euclid High School.
Euclid High.
Yep. Let me. I do want to check. You know, I'm always big on checking. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot that's happening within these next couple of days for me.
That sounds good.
I can tell you now. I promise you, it's about to go down.
And I like how it's focused on mental health too, bro.
Listen, bro, it's about to go down, and they got me coming in to help and be a part of it. Yep, it's at Euclid High School, bro. Saturday, August 3rd, Brawl for a Cause. It's at Euclid High School. The tickets is on sale now. Like I said, we got Miguel Gonzalez gonna be there. Montana 2 Pretty Love gonna be there. Phil Wheaton gonna be there. Incognito from Z1079 is hosting it. So the tickets is on sale now. August 3rd is gonna be lit, and I'm on the halftime show, and you know that's about to be bust.
Had to write that down. Show.
Yeah, that's about to bust. And then on August 10th, I'll be here in Cleveland performing as well, so I'm gonna drop details about that soon. Shout out to Angela for helping me get that together. August 11th, my cousin Donna is actually doing a grand opening for her new business. She got a youth center opening up.
Okay.
So
hold on,
I'm doing.
I got her on Facebook. Yeah, South Euclid. Don't you got instead of South Euclid? I think. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm performing for that too.
Oh,
so that's about
dope.
to be super dope.
Yeah.
And then August 31st, I should be in BG, and that's gonna be quite the show because I got some special people coming to help me with that performance. So that's gonna be quite the show. But other than that, I am open for bookings. I'm trying to get everybody to book me, whether it be August, September, October. I don't care when it is, man. I got a lot of stuff coming up. So.
For sure, man. Out here working, man.
I'm trying, bro.
You not been trying. You doing it, fam.
I'm trying, man.
For sure, man. I got 5 quick questions for you, man.
Okay.
All right, number 1. What's your favorite cereal?
Man, Honey Nut Cheerios, bro. I got it. Either that or man, it's hard.
Nut Cheerios.
It's either Honey Nut Cheerios or Fruity Pebbles, bro.
Ooh, I'm going towards Fruity Pebbles, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fruit, because I'm telling you, man, a fat bowl of Fruity Pebbles. You know what I'm saying? But I don't drink regular milk, so it's soy milk for me because I can't do almonds, so that sucks. But a nice fat bowl of Fruity Pebbles on like a Saturday morning with the cartoons, bro. Listen, man, I'm cool. Like I'm good. I'm good. Or late night Fruity Pebbles, bro. Good though. Like. Hey, I'm solid, bro. I promise.
I'm good Fruity Pebbles all day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I promise. So I'm definitely going between those two, man. I can't.
You gotta pick one, Jay Wells. Come on, man. You gotta pick one, fam.
I think I'm gonna go with Honey Nut Cheerios. Only reason I'm gonna pick that is because I do believe in eating healthy. Both of the cereals are pretty pretty bad because of the sugar, not gonna lie. And they're refined carbs. But at the end of the day, I think that Fruity Pebbles is just definitely loaded with a lot of sugar.
Okay.
That's why they taste so good. But Honey Nut Cheerios is definitely better for your heart than Fruity Pebbles are. Right. So I gotta go with Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios it is. I got another question. I answered one. Wow, man. Okay. If you was trapped on an island for 1 full year, what 3 albums or mixtapes would you listen to?
Oh wow. I think January 28th, Forest Hill Drive. Definitely got to get the J. Cole. I would pick probably something from Sade. Just because that's really relaxing. It's fire. And then I would pick something from Michael Jackson. And the reason I'm picking Michael Jackson is because if I'm on that island for a year, I'm going to study as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so being able to study the way that he created music and crafted music together, and being able to hear the energy that he puts behind his songs, and be able to see in my mind how much energy he puts into his shows. I'm trying to learn, and I can learn just by listening. Like, you know what I'm saying? I listen a lot. So I think Michael Jackson to be more so for learning / entertainment purposes. Sade is when I really just want to kind of mellow out. I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? I'm on this island. I'm going to kick up and listen to this water, listen to some Sade. You know what I'm saying? Got to do that. And then J. Cole is when I really want to do a lot of reflecting on my life and things that I've been through and ways that I can be better. And one of my favorite songs that's on that album is Love Yours. I think Love Yours, whenever I have moments, and this is being honest, whenever I have moments where I deal with, like, mental bouts where I feel, sad, or I'm down in myself or feeling down on myself or anything like that, because I've struggled with depression before. I've struggled with anxiety before. I've struggled with those things before. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I feel those moments coming on, or I look and I try to say, man, this person got this, that, and the third, and compare and all that stuff, well, I always say Love Yours. You know what I'm saying? I think of that song. So I think that album would just help me to stay focused and keep my sanity, to really think about things I've been through and, how I want to be better once I reemerge onto the land.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So
that's real.
It's my 3 albums.
Damn, that was real good. Hey, go back to mental health real quick. So for anybody out there that's going through that, like, what would you recommend to them? You know what I mean? Because I know everybody handles shit differently, but what would be like your personal recommendations to, help deal with depression or anxiety or something like that?
Honestly, man,
boy, out of water.
What got me through is, truthfully, man, prayer. Just praying and really pressing in, getting close to God. That was 1. 2, surrounding myself with love. And when you are dealing with depression, it can be so hard to feel loved, even when people that love you are just all around you. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to send you love, but what happens is when you're dealing with depression, it makes it hard for you to receive it. You know what I'm saying? You literally just can't take it in, because there's always this voice in the back of your head telling you that you're not good enough, that nobody loves you, and all this, that, and the third. And so there was a special scripture, a specific scripture that I used to read all the time. I'm going to go to it. I'm going to read it real quick, just because this scripture, I ain't gonna lie, I read this scripture so much, and it used to help me tremendously. All right, so it's coming from Psalms 40:1-3, and it says, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my steps. He has placed a new song in my mouth, praise to our God. Many will see it in fear and will trust in the Lord. And so when I would take that and I would say that, and I would say it over and over and over again, and I would pray it, you know what I'm saying? And it got to the point where I was reading it in different translations. So that was from the New King James, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so the New Living Translation says, I waited patiently for the Lord to help me, and he turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the pit of despair out of the mud and the mire. See, the New Living Translation, it really breaks it down in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't understand the harder words in the King James and stuff,
the message, bro.
Yeah, that New Living Translation, when I read this, it said, I waited patiently for the Lord to help me. And he turned to me and he heard my cry. What's one thing you do when you are depressed? You cry often. But who are you crying to? He lifted me out of the pit of despair, out of the mud and the mire. You're in deep despair when you're feeling depressed. You know what I'm saying? You feel like everything is crashing down, and you sometimes feel like life ain't worth living. And that's the biggest lie that the devil can tell you, because you're so important. You know what I'm saying? You're special. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. You know, he set my feet on solid ground. He steadied me as I walked along. He has given me a new song to sing, a hymn of praise to our God. So he took you from a place of being sad and misled by the devil and feeling like the world is on your shoulders and nobody loves you, nobody wants you around. And he placed you on solid ground. He placed you around people who love you. He placed you on his word. He placed in you the identity that he gave you since birth, that the world has tried to strip away from you. He placed that back into you to, you know, speak life into you. Like, you know what I'm saying? The same thing he did for Lazarus. When Lazarus was dead and he spoke life into Lazarus and brought him out after 4 days of being dead. Sometimes when you are depressed, you're spiritually dead. You know what I'm saying? And what God does is he breathes life back into your spirit so that your spirit can begin to fight against those negative thoughts that's inside. So your spirit can begin to fight against everything that you're feeling internally that's not of God. You know what I'm saying? And what he does is he steadies you as you walk along. And so he takes you from singing this sad song to now he placed a new song in your heart, and it's a song of praise to him. Well, why am I praising God? Because God's good, and God just saved you. He just saved you from the pit of despair. You know what I'm saying? Many will see what he has done and be amazed. They will put their trust in the Lord. And to me, that's your testimony. Just like you heard my story and what I went through, and you said it inspires you.
Right.
Many will see what God did. It's not what I did, but many will see what God did. And they'll be amazed and they'll put their trust in him. Oh God, if you did it for him, man, I'm going through similar stuff like that, but I know you can do it for me. And that's the whole purpose of it. So for me, prayer, man, prayer, and reading the scripture, getting around people who can help read the scripture with you, surrounding yourself with love, people who genuinely love you and want the best for you, people who will listen more than they speak. Because sometimes you just need to be heard out when you dealing with depression. You just need to be heard out. You know what I'm saying? You don't really need any advice right now. Because what they going to tell you? Oh, it'll be okay. It'll be all right. It's just a phase. That doesn't help somebody dealing with depression.
Not at all, man. They do it too often, too.
Exactly.
They're taking it lightly, man. I'm glad it's becoming a lot more aware, though. I'm not glad, you know, that people are depressed, but I'm glad it's aware. You know what I mean? They were speaking on it, because definitely the black culture, man, we dealt with that for years. But we is taught, you know, growing up, suck it up. You know what I mean? Hey, keep that shit, you know, this pretty much, it was thrown off in a way. And now I'm glad that, you know, we're at least speaking on it and getting close spiritually to God, you know, and wherever, you know, I know everybody's on different paths, but
I think that like I said, man, getting close to God, man, through Christ, that's the biggest thing. And then secondly, surrounding yourself with love, and thirdly, man, be vulnerable. Be vulnerable and be willing to open up, because what depression does is it puts you in isolation, and the devil loves to attack in isolation. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're isolated, you can be in a room full of people and still be isolated. Why? Because you're within yourself. You're isolated within yourself. You don't have to be physically isolated to be mentally, spiritually, and emotionally withdrawn and isolated. And a lot of people, they kind of pull away when it comes to being vulnerable, because they've been hurt so many times, stabbed in the back so many times. You know what I'm saying? And so they kind of pull away, and they're like, no, I don't want to be vulnerable with nobody, especially with something as big as this. I can't be vulnerable with nobody. And, you know, like you said, as black men, like, you know what I'm saying, black people in general, but more specifically black males, this is a huge issue for us, because we grow up like, oh, you got to be tough. You got to be tough. Man, don't nobody care about that, man. Suck it up. But at the end of the day, man, there are black men that are dying, that are killing themselves, that are snapping because they're going through something, and they're too tough, or too afraid rather, because all that toughness is, it's a front, it's a gimmick, it's a front, and it's something to cover up fear. That's all that toughness is. It just covers up fear. If you look like you tough, then people won't never know you're afraid. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people put that front on just because they're too afraid to say, hey bro, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you think somebody gonna say you gay because you said you love you to a man? Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah. Hey, bro, I love you. Hey, man, I miss you, man. I ain't heard from you in a minute, bro. What's going on?
Right.
Hey, look, man, my heart is broken right now. You know what I'm saying? People are afraid to say these kind of things. Now, I know my heart's not broken right now, y'all, for anybody who's asking. I'm actually really good. But people are really afraid to say these things. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's not going to help, because what happens is you hold on to all those negative emotions and they constantly build up and build up and build up. And you're literally dying on the inside because you keep wearing this outer appearance of, oh, I'm tough, oh, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. Cassidy King is actually releasing a song entitled Perfect Smiler. I think that's what it's called, Perfect Smiler.
Okay.
And or Professional Smiler. My fault. Professional Smiler. And what it means is that a lot of the times people really hide behind the smile. People have become so professional, you know what I'm saying, so gifted at wearing a fake smile and not really addressing the true hurt that they're feeling inside and the true pain they're feeling inside. And I think that that's one of the most toxic traits that we have in our culture as Black people and in society, period, is that we're all professional smilers in one way or another, and we try to hide our emotions because we don't want to seem soft, when at the end of the day, it's okay to open up and talk to people. That's why we have a profession of psychology. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to open up and talk to people about things that you've been through. I've gone through therapy, and therapy helped me a lot. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing, man. Open up. So it's get closer to God through Christ. Surround yourself with genuine love, and don't be afraid to open up, bro. And I promise you, you can beat depression.
That's
you can beat it.
True.
You can beat it, and you will beat it.
That was well said, man.
You will beat it.
Well said. That's why I really feel like, when it comes to emotions, like, you should embrace your emotions, how you feel. Because when you keep on trying to hide from them, it's like you're trying to hide from yourself in a way. Like you said, like, you're trapped within yourself. You're here. You could be out here physically, but it's all about within.
Oh, it's hard, man. And them things. Listen, man. That thing is Goliath. You know what I'm saying? It's Goliath out here. And if you don't step up like David did and fight back, Goliath gonna try to take you out. You know what I'm saying? And we just can't have that. And so that's why, when my cousin Calvin, you know what I'm saying, when he came to me with, Little Giants, and he said that, this is what they were doing, and it was funny, cause I asked him, like, who doing the halftime show? He was like, man, nobody, man. What, bro? Put me on a ticket, man. What are you talking about? Like, put me. I need parts, man. Put me on that, because it's such a huge thing. It's such an important thing, man, to talk about mental health. Not a lot of people want to talk about it, but it's such a huge issue in what we go through in life. But for some reason, people don't want to talk about it. I never understood that, man. People, they refuse to open up to talk about it. They refuse to address it, because people would rather share something and make something viral that lacks any kind of significance or lacks the ability to help people change in any way.
Somebody finally said it. That's true.
Oh, I'm gonna say it.
Say that. Say it again.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not afraid. I'm not gonna lie.
Say it, man. I've been waiting for somebody to say this for a while.
I told you, bro. I'm not afraid, bro. Like, the society that we live in is kind of ridiculous, because when you think about it, we have, and I'm gonna break this down, because this is something that's kind of been making me mad a little bit. Well, not making me mad, but mad. We have people who are posting videos of women sucking cucumbers. And I'm gonna just use this one example, but there are so many others. Sucking cucumbers, and those videos are going viral, right? I just seen a video the other day where there was a line of men sitting down in chairs holding cucumbers, and there were women who were literally sucking these cucumbers. Now, it's a lot of problems with this. First of all, those men, they were raised to disrespect women. Because there's no way that you should treat a woman in that kind of way. You're allowing them to be recorded performing an intimate act on a vegetable.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, that's just, it's disrespectful on so many levels. And so that goes back to your upbringing. Something in your upbringing was off, because there's no way that you should be able to, subject a woman to that. That's disrespectful. Would you want your daughter to be subjected to that? You know what I'm saying? If you had a daughter, would you want your daughter to be on camera sucking a cucumber with spit slobbing all down and you know what I'm saying? No, like you wouldn't want that.
I'm glad I have seen nothing like that on my timeline yet, and I'm glad.
I promise you. And I was like, man, what?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want that. And for the women, come on, man, love yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have a certain standard and a certain set of standards and morals about yourself to know that I'm not going to downgrade and degrade myself for any amount of attention. Because at the end of the day, women out here are so beautiful. And I don't think they know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Women out here are so beautiful. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're surrounded by beautiful women. And they choose not to embrace that. They don't embrace their beauty and love themselves unless they're getting likes and attention from social media. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you're willing to settle for negative attention just because any attention is attention, huh?
Wow. That's true.
But that's not okay.
That's not.
And what it does is it goes back to your upbringing. Women who subject themselves to those things, they weren't told, I love you enough. They weren't told that you're beautiful. They weren't told that you're worthy. They weren't told that you're a princess, you're a queen. They weren't told that you are worth it. They weren't told that, hey, you a young lady, and this is how young ladies carry themselves. They weren't told these things and embraced as beautiful women growing up. It's either that or they were molested as children. You know what I'm saying? They were molested as children. And instead of speaking about the things that they went through, they hold it in. Mm-hmm. And then what you see is the projection of them growing up and sucking cucumbers for attention.
Right.
Because if all you ever got in your life was negative attention, you become addicted to it because attention is attention. Mm-hmm. So if all you ever got is negative attention, when you grow up, you're going to go right back to what you knew.
Yep.
Think about with Israel. Israel spent so much time in captivity in Egypt that even when they were free in the wilderness, they looked at the wilderness as being more of a torture or more of captivity than them actually being slaves. And so while they were in the wilderness, they were supposed to be, getting closer to God. God was trying to cleanse them of a slave mentality while in the wilderness. But because all they knew was how to be a slave.
Right.
No matter what God did, they went right back to a slave mentality. Mm-hmm. That's why Christ needed to come, to restore his people. You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at that, it's the same thing going on here. You got these women and these men too, who they all had negative childhoods. You know what I'm saying? They all had negative childhoods, and their childhoods might look different, but all of them had something traumatic in their childhoods and negative in their childhoods. And because of that, all they got was negative attention. You know what I'm saying? It was either neglect or they got negative attention. So either no attention or negative attention. And because of that, they seek that now that they're grown. They seek it now that they're grown.
Right.
And then the people who constantly share this stuff to make it go viral, they're dealing with the same issues.
Yep.
But what they're doing is they're being judgmental about it now. Now they're saying, "Oh, I would never do such a thing as that." But why are you sharing it?
Yep.
You would never do it, but you're sharing it. Mm-hmm. And what they fail to realize is that we're in such a era of technology that there are people and children who have social media accounts. There are a lot of children right now in this world that have Facebooks, Twitters, Instagrams, but y'all are reposting all the negative stuff for the children to see.
And they're feeding that stuff. They're like sponges too, man.
They're sponges.
Yeah.
They're impressionable because they're young.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They're still trying to figure out who they are. And if they see women of the same color as them sucking cucumbers from men that are the same color as them, you're teaching young women, black women at that, but young women as a whole,
right,
to grow up and do those things are okay when it's not. But when it comes to something about mental health, when it comes to something about real love, when it comes to something about real trust, when it comes to something about being vulnerable, when it comes to the things that really matter, that can really change a society, nobody wants to share these things and make these things go viral. They would rather share the negative stuff than the positive stuff. And then the funniest thing is they complain about the news. Oh, I don't trust the news because the news only show you the bad stuff. The news don't give you the whole story. Well, neither do you.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Neither do you. All you do is share the bad stuff in the world.
Yep.
And the thing about it is, you share the bad stuff in a way that it's not even the bad stuff that needs to be changed, or you're not shining light on the bad stuff that needs to be changed. You're not shining light on it and saying, oh, mental health, mental illness, that's a real thing. Let's shine some light on this so we can get some more attention to it, so we can try to figure out some way to better tackle this as a society. No, they don't do that. But instead, they want to show and make videos viral of women naked, half naked, sex tapes that's been leaked. You know what I'm saying? Women sucking on cucumbers, people licking ice cream in the stores.
I did see that.
All this stupid stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, how is any of that gonna help you change society if all you're doing is sharing and making all of that ridiculousness viral? People are seeing it and they just see it and they're just like, oh man, I remember this video or that video. But then when you come and you start talking to them like, oh, did you hear about this over here?
Right.
Did you hear about what God did over here? Did you hear about what God did over there?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It don't go viral.
And that's true. And that's like with me creating content. Like, my brand it's nothing about this. It's just about all positivity, mental health, all this stuff. And guess what? It don't boom. It didn't make me. It made me question. It used to make me question my own shit. Like, am I doing something wrong? You feel me? But that's true though, man. I noticed that we do make shit that's not going to help benefit us or help us grow at all. We don't spread it. We spread the negative, and it's come to the point that I don't want to say everybody, majority of people are attracted to negativity in a way. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I noticed that by them just sharing it, they trying to hide behind that as well. Like you said, like somebody posted and blow down on it. Like, why do you even post on your page then?
Yeah, it goes back to what they are dealing with within themselves.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. Because you're always gonna attract what you're dealing with. Period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there are things within yourself, if you're not trying to do some kind of self-reflection and you're not trying to say, okay, I know that I've been, for example, let's say if somebody was holding grudges, they know that they've been holding grudges or they haven't been forgiving people and stuff like that, then what's going to happen is that's going to manifest itself in being judgmental. Yeah. It's going to manifest itself in trust issues. So the next person that comes near you that tries to get close to you, you're going to hold them to so many different things. You're going to have them jumping through fire just to try to earn your trust.
Yeah.
When it's like, what? That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how we getting down. That's not cool. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And then you just gonna be looking at everybody, judging everybody. Oh, you doing this, that, and the third. But you was just doing this, that, and the third too.
You know what I'm saying? One finger, three pointing back at you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shit. So, and we've all judged somebody at some point for something. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about just being self-aware and recognizing what it is that you're doing, so that way something can be done to change it. Because you can never, everybody always want to try to do this Me Too movement where they like, I want to influence the world and I want to do this, that, and the third. But they not willing to start with them. Michael Jackson said, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. I'm going to ask you, like, before I can try to be an impact to anybody, I got to change me. Imagine if I drop Legacy, the Untold Love Story, but my perspective on love hasn't changed.
Yeah.
That album holds no weight.
Yep.
That, like, the emotion and the storyline behind the album, it's a fallacy. Because people can look at me and say, what? How you gonna drop the Untold Love Story where you talking about you view love this way, that way, or this way, but yet you out here and you low-key a womanizer, bro. You got this girl, that girl, this girl over there. It's a girl in every state that you go to that you got. No, but people can look and they can see like, okay, Jay used to be this kind of dude, but I look at him now, man, he in a committed relationship. You know what I'm saying? Him and his woman, they seeking God. You know what I'm saying? They both happy. They both working together, building businesses together. You know what I'm saying? She got her own business. He got his own brand. They both working together to build it. You know what I'm saying? They doing this, that. So when people see those things, they looking like, okay, so what he's saying in this Legacy album, it's true. It's true not because he say it's true. It's true because we can literally see the fruits of it. We can see it. We can see it. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, man, Christ said, you know a tree by its fruits, bro. And at the end of the day, a lot of fruit that we see is bad. A lot of fruit that we see on social media is bad. It is not to say I don't have times where I produce bad fruit. I still definitely produce bad fruit.
Yeah, we ain't perfect.
You know what I'm saying? I produce bad fruit, but I don't want my entire tree to be filled with bad fruit. You know what I'm saying? I want to have more good fruit hanging from my tree than bad fruit. If I got one bad apple, two bad apples out of this harvest, compared to however many good apples is there, right. Cool. Let's take these one or two bad apples. Let's figure out why they went bad and let's try to correct it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're always going to get a bad apple. Yeah. At the end of the day. Why? Because we're imperfect. So we're always going to get a bad apple.
100%, man.
But would you rather have 10 bad apples and 2 good, or 2 bad apples and 10 good?
2 bad apples and 10 good.
That always starts with you.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, it's your tree.
Yep.
It's your tree. What are you feeding your tree? Because if you feed your tree nonsense, if you neglect your tree, if you don't pay attention to it, you don't water it, whatever the case may be, whatever you're doing bad to your tree, it's going to reflect in the fruit that you produce. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta start with ourselves, man. We have to. And I don't know if a lot of people are doing that. So that's why we are where we are right now.
Wow. That was well said, man. This dude is lectured. I fuck with that heavy. Do you like go to school for psychology or something, man? This all life experience you just drive because
I ain't gonna hold you. This is I went to school for liberal studies, bro. So okay. I did mass media and marketing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But everything that I'm talking about now is literally just what God has given me, whether it be through life or whether it be just him just imparting the wisdom on me.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a lot of things. I'm an observant person. And when I observe things, I ask a lot of questions.
Right.
And a lot of times, I talk to God a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ask a lot of questions about things I don't understand. And he answers me. You know what I'm saying? And he gives me insight and understanding. And, you know, sometimes I'll see stuff and I'll look at it and then I won't even talk to him. I'll just get insight or understanding. But then I'll recognize, well, maybe that's a worldly view. Excuse me. Maybe that's a worldly view. Maybe it's you judging somebody. So maybe you should take that to God first,
right.
To get a better understanding of it. So after, you know, so long of doing that, it's just like, that's just how I do things, I guess. So all the wisdom you hearing, everything you hear right now is not from me, bro. It's from God, I promise.
The glory of God, fam.
Yeah, it really is.
Damn.
It really is.
Salute, man. I got one more fire question for you, man.
Okay, let's get the fire question. What we got?
What makes a great life?
Who?
What makes a great life?
A great life?
Yep.
A great life is a life worth living twice. And the only life that I would live twice is a life with God in it. And when I say that, it's because you got to think about it. We live to live again. And we all have to die one day. And when we die, where do you go? Do you go to heaven or do you go to hell? You know what I'm saying? So we all live to live again. A great life is going to be a life in which you're going to want to live again. So how you live here right now is going to determine how you live in your next life. So if you're living in a way right now that all your fruit is bad and you don't care that all your fruit is bad, well then that's probably not a life that you will want to live again. But if you know that you're living in a way that you are leaving a legacy, and that's why I believe my entire brand became marked around legacy. If you know you're living in a way that's leaving a legacy, and a legacy is not just for you, a legacy is not for your kids, a legacy is for your kids' kids, and then their kids. That's what a legacy is for. If you are leaving a legacy and you're focused on leaving a legacy, leaving an imprint in the culture, leaving an imprint in the community, and most importantly, growing the kingdom of God, that I feel like is a great life and a life worth living twice. So,
for sure. Y'all heard on here. Where can they find you at, fam?
Everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm on your corner. No, I'm just playing.
Actually, look them up, y'all.
No, for real. Like, no, seriously. You can really search up Jay Wilson. That's crazy to me. But definitely can find me everywhere at the Legacy of Jay. Jay is spelled Jay. So everything, Twitter, at the Legacy of J, Instagram at the Legacy of J, Snapchat Hollywood J. I'm mad they won't let me change my name. Facebook official J Wells. Somebody already took the Legacy of J being corny. I don't even know who they are. Damn. But yeah, y'all can find me pretty much on everything, man. For sure, everything and everywhere.
Man, my brother, I appreciate you for coming on the show today, man.
Thank you for having me.
Telling your story, your journey, giving advice, man. It was definitely shit fight therapy, man. Be real.
Hey, man. Good. Hey, I'm glad you brought me on, bro. It seemed like every time I get on a podcast, like I said, it's my second time doing it. God just shows up in a crazy way. Yep. And what I think I'm gonna say or talk about, like my mindset coming here, I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to just talk about the album all day, and you know what I'm saying, I might even, you know, he probably gonna pull up a beat, have me freestyle or something goofy or something, you know what I'm saying. So I'm thinking all that kind of stuff, and God was like, nah, bro, this is a more serious talk, because this is a platform where I want to use you. So yeah, kind of took a turn. This was God's turn. It wasn't really even on me. Like,
hey, let it flow then, brother.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you brought me out, man. This is amazing. I'm glad to be a part of it, for sure.
For sure. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, of course.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for oh shit. Sorry, y'all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for watching or listening to Lavish Journey podcast, where we create, inspire, and spread greatness. We out of here. Let's pose with a picture. I'm gonna screenshot it.
Back.
We good.